December 3rd. I'm at the Big Piney Trail in southern Missouri. It's 70 degrees out today, crazy warm. And I'm out here by myself because all my backpacking buddies are busy this weekend and I couldn't let the warm weather get by without getting out and doing a little adventuring. So I'm gonna do a couple nights. This is a 17-mile loop, and I have done this loop now, I think, probably 15 times. I live in Lawrence, Kansas, and this is the closest backpacking to where I live, so I come here a lot. It's about a 4-hour drive from my house to the trailhead, so not too bad. And the trail is rugged, a lot of up and down, it's beautiful. I never get tired of this trail, no matter how many times I've done it. So yeah, here I am. Beautiful weekend. Can't believe it's 70 degrees on December 3rd. So about a mile in on the trail, you come to a fork where you can either go clockwise or counterclockwise on the loop. And most of the time I go clockwise. This time I'm going counterclockwise. Here's the marker for the south loop, which means taking it, if you go the south loop, you're going to be going counterclockwise, which is how I'm doing it. Call this the Big Piney because there's some big pine forests out here, which is really cool to see. Where I live in Kansas, not so many pine forests like this. So it's been super dry here in the Midwest, and this is a creek bed that is normally a flowing stream. There's a couple bigger streams out here, but when these small streams dry up like this, it kind of limits where you're going to camp, because it puts your campsites further away from running water. So anyways, super cool spot on the trail. Starting to climb up out of that valley, up onto this ridge. It's a tough go. It's steep up here. There's so many leaves on the trail, you can't see all the rocks. And every step feels like an ankle breaker. So you gotta really keep your wits about you up here, or you'll go down. This is the first body of water that you come to going counterclockwise, a little pond. And I never get water here because I bet every horse in this county has whizzed in this little pond. Guaranteed. When you're coming counterclockwise, about 4 miles in on the trail, you'll come to this intersection. If you go left at this intersection, that is a cutoff that splits this 17-mile loop in half and makes it much easier hike. If you continue straight, you'll go all the way around the main loop. It's a confusing intersection because one sign says north loop and one sign says south loop, and all that means is this is a cutoff that will take you to the north side of the loop. Kind of confusing. Sweet little stream. This is the first flowing water I've seen. I'm taking the cutoff trail because I would normally be camping way up on top of this hill behind me, but there's no water up there this time of year, so I'm going to go where there's water. And that's over here. Really big cave up there. I'm not going to go up there right now because I'm running out of daylight and I got to make it to camp. I even found a geocache. Pretty cool to find a geocache way out here. I think I'm about 6.5 miles into the middle of wilderness, so neat to find things like this way out here. And this is off of a trail that is poorly maintained, not marked. I just discovered upon it one time when I was hiking through here. I took a side trail and boom, big ass cave. Made it to my first camp. Sun's going down behind me. I'll show you my sweet babbling brook. Time to set up the tent. Here's a spot where the trail crosses Blacktop Road behind me, and you have to look out for this marking on this tree. I'll show you where to go. Okay, here's the biggest creek crossing that you'll have to do on the Big Piney Trail. A lot of times this creek has enough water that I take my boots off. Not today, pretty low today, so I think I'll be able to get across without having to take my boots off, which is always nice. This part of the trail is not marked very well, and it can be confusing when you come through here because you have to cross this stream and you'll be looking for a piece of pink ribbon tied to a tree on the other side of the stream, and that will guide you to where the trail continues after you cross. So always look around for blazes. Unfortunately this trail is not marked well, so you gotta know where to go. Here's the pink ribbon marking where the trail continues. That's where I came from, across there. So be on the lookout for the pink ribbon. Pro tip, if you hike with poles like I do, throw a couple feet of duct tape on your pole. You can use it for all kinds of things. What I use it for, I use it whenever I feel a hot spot. The minute you feel a hot spot on the bottom of your foot from your boot or your shoe, don't wait to do anything about it. Stop right then, take your boots off, take your socks off, grab a little piece of this duct tape, slap it on top of that hot spot, put your sock back on, put your boot back on, you'll be good to go and you won't get a blister. The key is not to wait until you get to camp. If you wait that long, you'll get to camp, sure as shooting, you're going to have a blister. But if you stop the minute you notice that you've got a hot spot, put a piece of duct tape on it, you'll get to camp, you'll be right as rain. No blisters. Guaranteed. Here's a cool campsite up on top of this cliff. Quite a view out there. Except there's no water up here. That's a drag. Here's the second pond. Full of horse whiz, I'm sure. Hitching area. It's where people get hitched. Gotta keep an eye out for the blue blazes. Keep you on the right trail out here. Ruby Lake. That's where my car is. Fingers crossed it's still there. Here's the third pond, full of horse whiz. Here's where I started, Big Piney Trailhead. I hiked up to here. Here's the intersection where you can either go clockwise on the loop or counterclockwise. I went counterclockwise. I got to here. This is the cutoff that splits the loop in half. I hiked in to about here, and then I bushwhacked all the way to here. And that was my first night. And then I got back on the trail, hiked all the way around to about, I think right in here is where I spent my second night. And then today I hiked out and I'm back to here. And luckily my car's still here. I'm always nervous coming out from a backpack trip, whether or not I'm going to find my car broken into or gone altogether. I don't know what it is about that fear of coming out and finding your car gone, but or that it won't start or something like that. So fingers crossed that it starts.